Hey, it's Shel Anderson from Shel's Creative Corner and Shel Anderson Designs. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. I blog at shelscreativecorner.blogspot.com, and you can follow me on Facebook by just simply putting in Anderson Shel. I also have a YouTube channel where I post videos weekly, at least, if not 3 or 4 times a week. And you can subscribe to my channel on YouTube. Just search for Shel Anderson. I'm also on Pinterest, Twitter, and Instagram. I'd like to thank you for joining me today. Good morning, Pam. Good to see you. I would like to thank you for joining me today. We are going to be doing something a little bit different today. Today is what I'm calling What Inspired Me This Week. We all see beautiful cards. We all see projects that sparks a little bit of creativity in us. So today I'm going to share some of those projects that caught my eye. And speaking of things that caught my eye, I received 2 Christmas cards yesterday. And this is the first one. And this beautiful card is from my good friend Dorothy. And if you're watching, Dorothy, thank you very, very much. And this beautiful card is from my friends Barb and Peter and their children, Caitlin and Michael. And they sent this beautiful photo. Love it, love it, love it. All right. First off, tip number 7. Every day that I do a video, I do a tip for you for your tip book. The tip today is to prime your stamp for better stamped images. Good morning, Denise. Good to see you. Clean your stamps thoroughly before you use them the first time, because there's some residues that are left on the stamps when they're manufactured. You want to clean that residue off so that you get a better image. Another tip for doing that is you can, if you have a pair of jeans on, after you clean it, the stamp, just rub it on your jeans or rub the surface of the stamp with an eraser and then clean it again. Another way you can do it is you can ink your stamp with Versamark, stamp it off, and then use your Stampin' Scrub to clean it off. But make sure your brand new stamps are completely clean the first time that you use them. That is your tip for today. I see somebody's having problems. Pam, do you have a black screen or are you seeing the video? Apparently Denise has just got a black screen. I'm seeing the video myself, but I'm not sure. Denise, maybe go out and pop back in. All right, we are going to get started today. I have 3 projects for you. So because I have 3 projects, I have done some prep work ahead of time so that we can get through these projects together. For the first project, we are going to be making a front slider gatefold. The front slider gatefold, I saw this, I've seen it by different people, Susan Orr, Sarah Levin, Mary Deathridge. If you go on Pinterest, you can find lots and lots of these front slider gatefolds. The one that I'm doing today was a version by Dawn Griffith. Okay, so I am going to show you the card and then we are going to make it together. So this is the card and this is the mechanism. So here's our standard gatefold, but this little mechanism locks the card together and just slides down the front of the card. How cool is that? All right, so we are going to be using the Snowflake Wishes bundle with those beautiful, beautiful snowflakes and the coordinating dies. We're going to be using the Stitched So Sweetly dies. And we're going to be using the fabulous Balmy Blue Glimmer paper, which, by the way, is going on the year-end clearance sale on Tuesday. So if you want it, order it. Contact me. If you don't have a demonstrator, you can contact me prior to 6 p.m. on the 7th. We're also going to be using some of this gorgeous Snowflake Splendor DSP. And we're going to be using some rhinestones, some clear embossing powder, the embossing buddy, and the heat tool. So I have the directions written here. If you want to write them down, you can do so. If you don't, if you want me to take a picture of them and text it to you, just let me know. Text me after the broadcast. Okay, so we're starting out with our Highland Heather 5.5 by 8.5, and we are just simply going to burnish those folds. Now typically when I do a gatefold, I make sure that it's right super tight here, so that these two panels are super tight together. I'm not worrying so much about that because of the mechanism. Okay. All right, and then for the front of the card, there's where the Stitch So Sweetly dies come into play. All right, and for the mechanism, you're going to need 4 squares that are 2.5 by 2.5, and 2 of those squares you're going to score in the middle at 1 1/4. 1 1/4. All right, and I have cut a snowflake out of the Balmy Blue paper. So what we're going to do is we're going to do our stamping first. And I need to grab my stamp set. And we are going to stamp these images in Versamark ink. And then we are going to heat emboss them with white embossing powder. Okay, I have 4 snowflake images here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to mount them on a block. And I'm going to put 3 of them on one side. And I also need to choose a greeting. The last one I did, May Your Season Sparkle. So this one, I think I will choose Snowflake Wishes for a Merry Christmas. That's kind of a nice one. And so we will load that one up on this block. Okay, I got it going wonky. Oops, still wonky. Well, there we go. All right, so we have our stamps all loaded on the blocks. Now I need my Versamark ink. And for the these 2 panels are the same. They are 4 inches by 5 1/4. And the one that's going on the inside of my card, I am simply going to put a little trio of snowflakes in one of the corners. Okay. Now I know you can't see that, but it's there. And then on the the same size panel, we're going to completely cover this, and we are making our own DSP basically for this card. So I'm just stamping, making sure I'm going off the edges of the page as well. I'm just stamping 3 of the big snowflakes. And then I am going to fill in with 2 of the little ones. And you guys just bear with me while I fill these areas in. I know you can't see this. The camera will not pick this up because it's clear ink. Actually, I think I'm going to put part of a big one up here in the corner. And then I'll go back to my 2, like so. And we'll spin it around, like so. And I think we can use a little one up here. There we go. I think that's good. We're going to get some embossing powder on here. And did you see what I did? I did not use my embossing buddy. Do not do what I did. That's not cool. I'm going to cover this with embossing powder. And that embossing powder is going to stick to that clear ink. And the beauty of that is that that ink stays sticky for quite a bit of time. It doesn't dry quick like our dye inks do. Just want to make sure I get all my snowflakes covered. All right. That looks pretty good to me. Now we'll bring in the one with the 3 snowflakes in the corner. So basically wherever we are, whoops, I did not stamp this one. We better stamp this one. This is our greeting panel. Basically what's going to happen is wherever we have heat embossed, our ink that we put on after is going to resist that area. Apologize if I get my head in the camera. All right. We are golden. Hi, Ian. Glad you could join us. Hey, Carol. All right. So, let me move some of this stuff out of the way, and we're going to bring in the heat tool. And I apologize. This is going to make some noise, but it won't be too long, I promise you. And we're just going to melt this embossing powder with the heat tool. Just remember when you're doing this to keep your heat tool moving around, because you could scorch your paper super easily. This heat tool gets very hot. It needs to get hot enough to melt the embossing paper. I actually had one of my girls heat embossing one day and she caught her paper on fire. So you need to be really careful. But just as soon as you see the powder starting to melt, move on to the next area. Alright, now we're on to our big panel here. And this is going to happen very quickly because the tool's already warmed up from doing the other ones. And I don't know whether the camera is picking this up because, like I said, it is clear embossing powder. But as soon as we start inking this, you guys are going to see the magic happen. I just need to make sure that all these areas are melted or it will just brush off. Looking good. Couple more areas here that aren't completely melted. All right, let me have a look here. Looking good. There we go. Enough of that noise, eh? All right. I don't know whether the camera's picking that up, but those areas have all been embossed. So now this is where the fun happens. Actually, I have to wipe the stray embossing powder off here. I can't stand that gritty feel. All right. So now we're going to bring these in, and this is back to my sample for those of you that are joining late. This is a locking gatefold card, and we are casing cards that have inspired me this week. All right, so now I have Balmy Blue ink and a sponge dauber, and I have Highland Heather ink and a sponge dauber. And basically what we're going to do is we are just going to apply some of this ink in splotches. There's no rhyme or reason to this. And you're going to have to forgive me, this sponge dauber is on its last legs. As you can see, little pieces of the sponge are flaking off. But that's okay. Once it's dead, right? So you just do whatever area you want done. I just want to do around the snowflakes, and you can do it as light or as dark as you want. I'm going with a fairly heavy hand because I want these snowflakes to pop. Yes, they're beautiful colors, Pam. I agree. Like I said, not my design. This was my inspiration that I saw online this week. I thought it was beautiful, and I wanted to share that with you guys. And then I'm just going to take a paper towel and rub over the surface, and what that does is it removes any ink that's on those embossed areas. So we're going to do the same thing with these other pieces. Now this is our greeting piece, and I'm just going to put a swirl down here and a swirl this way. And you can come back in and add more ink as you see fit. It's your card. You can make it however you want. And I use the Stitch So Sweetly dies here. You could use stitched rectangles. You could use just cut cardstock. I just like the fancy edge on it. So whatever you guys have, use it. And as much ink as you want to apply, go for it. I tend to go back and forth a couple of times. I don't like the white showing personally, but it's all your own personal. And then once again, just buff off where it's embossed so that that white pops. All right, now we're on to our last one. And some balmy blue. And you can use whatever you like. You can use sponges. You can use sponge daubers like I'm using. You can use brushes. The new brushes are coming out in the catalog in June. I don't have them because I have other brushes, but I hear they are fabulous. Whatever you have, whichever type of ink blending tool you prefer, use it. This one is, the reason I chose the sponge daubers for today is because they are super quick, and the fact that I have so many projects that I want to show you today, I wanted to go with what was the fastest, if that makes any sense. Hello, darling. Good morning. So once again, just rub off the surface so that any ink that's attached there will be removed. So there's the 3 pieces that we've heat embossed with clear and heat set it and then inked. We're going to bring back in our gatefold, and we're going to attach this piece to the inside of our gatefold. Just like so. Leaves us lots of room to write inside, but it's pretty. And that does the job. Okay, now we're going to do some cutting. So I'm going to bring in my paper trimmer. Yes, Denise, have you ordered your brushes? All right. Oops, I'm upside down. Pardon me. So we are going to take this 4 by 5 1/4 panel, and we are going to cut it down into 2 pieces that are 1 7/8 of an inch. So you need to decide what your top is. So I'm going to go 1 6, 1 7/8 of an inch is right here. There's piece number 1. Just pull it off to the side. Now don't move this one, just slide it in and do 1 7/8 of an inch. And there's a reason I told you to do that. This little piece is garbage. These 2 pieces, see that snowflake matches up? This is how we want to put them on the front of our card. We don't want to twist them around, because when you put them on your gatefold, you want them to match. So now we're going to put these pieces on the front 2 panels, like so. Isn't that pretty? When I saw this, I just said, oh my heavens, it's beautiful. And we will pull this one in and match that up. All right, you with me so far? Okay. Now we are going to bring in our panel, and we're going to finish this off. This is our decorative panel for the front, and it's just the 2 dies layered together. And then I brought in this little snowflake, and I thought, man, that's pretty. Actually, this was a leftover from another project, so I thought might as well use it. All right, and I'm just putting some Tombow on there, and we are going to pop that on just like so. Beautiful. Now we have to do our mechanism. Now this was the part that sounded scary to me. It's not. It's super, super easy. So we've got our 4 squares. that are 2.5 by 2.5. And then we have 2 squares that are 2.5 by 2.5 scored in the middle at 1.25. So we are going to fold the 2 on the score lines, and we are going to apply Tombow to one of these. I'm going to call them a wing, okay? So Tombow on one part of the wing, and you're going to pick up an unscored one, and you are going to simply match up your edges. So now you have this, okay? This little wing stands up like so. You with me? Now we're going to do exactly the same thing with the other wing. All right. Lay it down, match up the edges. And there you have it. Okay, so there's our 2 wings, okay? See that? Easy peasy. Now, this is a little fiddly. You're going to put this in your gatefold and close your doors. Then you're going to open these. Then this gets put on here. All right? So, for this, I am going to use some snail because I think it's easier when it's in the card. You could use tear and tape. You can use Tombow if you want. I just don't want to risk. I'm a klutz. I don't want to risk getting the Tombow all over the place. So I have covered those 2 wings with snail. Yes, it is snail because I haven't run out yet. So there we have our sliding lock. Okay. There's our gatefold. Here's our sliding lock. This is what it looks like from the top. And it just slides onto your card and locks your doors shut. Easy, right? All right, now we have our element that's going to go on the front. So what I'm going to do is simply put the Tombow on our panel and center this baby right on that panel, and I'm just going to hold it a minute. Tombow takes just a minute. Okay, there we have it. Still sliding. All good. Now we're going to add a little more sparkle. If I can find them right in front of me. Basic rhinestones. And yeah, Carol, it's beautiful. It was like, when I saw it, I thought, oh my God, it's gorgeous. And I could do nothing to change it up to make it any more beautiful than it already is. So that is why this is one of my Pinterest picks of the week. And I am just going to put a few rhinestones here and there just to add a titch more sparkle, because everybody likes sparkle. The only thing I'm going to caution you is when you put your embellishments on, don't put anything on the front 2 panels because they'll get fetched up in the sliding mechanism. Yeah, just like that's good. Maybe a couple of little ones just because we can. One there. And one there. There we go. All right. So there we have it. The inside Standard gatefold. We just made the DSP for the outside. There's your mechanism. Super, super simple to make, so don't be scared of it. And that just locks your card shut, and you can position this wherever you need it. Okay, that, my friends, is project number 1 of 3. So now I have to get, oh, there's my first card. I'll put that out there so you can see that one as well. This is how I figured out how to do it. But as you can tell, I made them almost identical because they're beautiful. Okay, I'm going to clean up a bit, and we're going to move on to project number 2. Now, this project is I'm going to show you the project first. This project is a wallet. It is a 3D wallet. Okay, it's like a little tiny box. Now, you could put money, you could put a gift card, you could put a chocolate bar in here as a little gift. And this is what it looks like on the inside. Okay, just a cute little box. You can decorate it however you want. I decorated this one for Christmas. Now, I have seen 3 or 4 or 5 of these on Pinterest. However, this one was inspired by my upline Denise, and she made hers with magnets. I didn't have magnets, so I used these little Velcro dots to keep it closed. Okay, so we're going to make one of those today. And I am going to also put the wallet instructions out here. Now, these were supplied by Denise. The cardstock that you need is 9 inches by 7 1/4. And you're going to score it on the long side at 3 1/4, 3 3/4, 7 and 7 1/2. And you're going to score it on the short side at 1/2 inch on both sides. You're going to need 2 pieces of DSP, 3 1/8 by 6, 2 pieces of DSP, 1 3/8 by 6, and 4 pieces at 3/8 of an inch by 6 for all the slim sides of the wallet. Okay, that sounds like a lot, but we're going to do it together, and you'll see how super simple this is to do. Hi, Connie. Good to see you. All right, so you're going to put your 9-inch side at the top, and we're going to score this at 3 1/4 inches. Okay, so there's 3 1/4. Now we're going to slide it over to 3 3/4. And this color is Seaside Spray that I'm using. And then we're going to go and we're going to slide it over to the 7-inch mark and score it there. And then over to the 7 1/2 inch and score it there. And now the short side, I just did that backwards. No, I didn't. All right, the short side. We are going to score that at 1/2 inch, and I'm measuring over here on this side because it's easier for me. We are going to score it there at 1/2 inch, and I'm going to flip it and score it here at 1/2 inch. Okay, so super, super simple so far. So before I do anything, I am going to cut, I don't know if I'm close enough or not, on all of these score lines. Just cut these little pieces like so and miter your corners. Just take a little chunk out of each side of the cut line so that this little tiny, it's really essentially a little box or a wallet. You want it to fold together nicely. So we're just going to take a little chunk out and miter all those corners. Now, some of these tabs we're going to cut off in a minute, but this is essentially what needs to be done for some of them, so I'm just going to work my way around because it's easier. Just miter them. All right, 2 more. Yes, Connie, I was very inspired by this too. And I know this is a repeat for you, but it's a good thing. All right, so here we have it. So now we're going to fold it and burnish our score lines. And I can't say enough to burnish well. It's going to make your box a lot easier to put together if you burnish well. All right, so we've got those ones done. Now we have to do these ones. All right, so this little short scored area, that's going to be our flap that goes down. So these tabs here actually get cut off. So just cut right straight along that edge and across the top tab as well. Okay, on both sides. You with me? Oh, I didn't cut that very good. Just bear with me. I'm going to take another little sliver off. Okay. So now we're going to continue on our journey of burnishing those score lines. All right. So I'll bring this in so you can have a visual. So basically this little box is going to go together like this, and this is going to be our tab that comes down. Now, you'll notice on this one that there are rounded corners here. So basically I'm just going to grab a, a corner rounder, and when I did mine, I included the tab, and I'm just going to round those corners. And I'm also going to round the corners here on the flap. Okay? You with me? All right. Now, we're going to flip it outside, and we're going to bring in our DSP. We have 2 that are 3 1/8 by 6. So this one I have not rounded any corners. What have I done? There we go. All right. This is too long. Bear with me. It is too long. Yes, it is. Just a smidge too long. That one's okay. All right. Crisis averted. So it's going to be easier to decorate if you keep it flat. I made the mistake on my first one of not keeping it flat, and it was not fun to decorate because you're dealing with the box movement, right? So I've already pre-rounded these 2 corners here. So we're just going to attach these beautiful DSP panels to our wallet to decorate it. And this is the Snowflake Splendor paper that I've chosen. All right. And then the same thing with the smaller pieces of DSP. And these are 1 3/8 by 6. And of course this one is not correct. And I have glue on it. Welcome to my world. Let's check this one. That one's not right either. All right, we'll fix that up. It needs to be 6, and we are 6 and a little bit. So that one's fixed. Now this one could be a titch harder because I have glue on it. May the force be with me, ladies. Here I am on live trying to cut paper with glue on it. We are successful. There we go. Once again, the crisis was averted. Okay, so let's get this down. There we go. Now we're going to flip it over, and this piece is going to go on the inside of the flap. Now, if you were using those little button magnets, you want to get the neodymium ones, the ones that snap together to keep it closed. I don't have any of those, so I am using Velcro, and I just bought my little Velcros at Dollar Tree. And I don't have any white ones. I have black ones, but that's okay. I think this package, there's 20 in it maybe, and the entire package was $1.25. So, all right, so now these little strips, we are going to, let's flip over and do the outside first. We are going to attach these just to decorate these panels. I thought about using glimmer paper for these panels, but then I thought I don't like having glitter all over everything, and sometimes that glitter releases, so I like using it for embellishments, but I don't like it for all over. All right, one for the inside, like so, and then we get to put our box together. Okay, all right, so if your box is laying out like this, you're all decorated. So this is the back of your box, this is the front of your box. You want these tabs to cover these tabs. So what we're going to do is we are going to put some sticky strip on these tabs. And we're just going to burnish that down with a bone folder and grab the Take Your Pick tool and remove those paper backings. Okay. So now you're going to pick it up, and one side at a time, just put your front and backs together. And I like to take a bone folder so that I can actually put some pressure on this side and get the pieces to go together. Okay, and the same thing on this side. Measure or line up with your back edge, and I just stick a bone folder in there and put some pressure on it all the way down. Okay, So there's our little box. Now we have these two little side pieces that are not decorated. Okay, so I am going to I'm sure that's the halfway mark. Yep, it is. I am going to snip one in half, and we will put these on the side so that the entire little envelope or box is decorated. And the final side, and then we get to wrestle. And I'm saying that because that happened to me with my last one. We get to wrestle with the Velcro dots. So I simply took one and kind of eyeballed it for middle. And then the one that it sticks to, I'm going to stick the two pieces together, okay? And then closed it like so. And then the first time I just put my fingers in between it so that I can get in there and give it a good press with my fingers in behind on each side. All right, there is our little box, okay? So now we needed to decorate. And for time's sake, because I have 3 projects today, I've pre-done my embellishments. I did a little snowflake, and then I did this piece on earth. Okay. So what I'm going to do is put Tombow on the back of my greeting piece. And I'm just going to keep my envelope shut and slide that in like so. Okay. Open up my Velcro, and then I just stick my fingers in the envelope and press it into place. Close it back up. Now when I'm putting this one on, we have to be careful because we're only putting adhesive on the part that goes on the flap. We don't want to glue our box shut. So just figure out where you need it. And yes, I'm being a little generous there. And then we're just going to pop that in place like so and hold it for a minute. So again, I'm going to open it up, lay it flat, and give it a good back rub. Now I am looking for my rhinestones. We need to add a rhinestone to the center. All right, there you have it. That is our little gift wallet. Both for Christmas, but both very, very different. Okay, so that was my second inspiration item. This greeting, by the way, came from the Dove of Hope bundle. This is another bundle that's on the end of your clearance. If you want that bundle, make sure that you order it. All right, cleanup time once again. I've got myself worked into a corner here. All right, so if you want those wallet instructions, you can message me later and I will take a picture and send them to you. Okay. Oh, if you were interested in the sizes of the punches I used, I'm sorry I didn't tell you. I used 2 inch, 2 1/4, and 2 1/2. 2, 2 1/4, 2 1/2, 2 1/2, 2 1/4. All right, we're on to our third and final project, and this was a sketch. I believe it was from a couple of weeks ago from Freshly Made Sketches, and I thought, that's an interesting sketch. It's kind of a little wonky. I thought, yeah, I could work with that. So this is what I came up with from this sketch. And that is using the Brightly Gleaming Designer Series paper. And this Greeting Christmas Cheer is from the Itty Bitty Christmas stamp set. This set is fabulous. It has all kinds of small sized Christmas greetings. And I used the Christmas Gleaming stamp set and the Coordinating Ornament 1 Punch. Okay, so we'll just set that stuff aside for a moment, and we will get hopping on our card. So the cardstock that I have chosen today is Night of Navy, and it is 8 1/2 by 5 1/2, and I am scoring it at 4 1/4. And for the inside, I have a piece of Very Vanilla cardstock, so that we have a beautiful place to write our message. So bada bing, that is on there. Now these ones are the Stitched So Sweetly dies, once again, and that is the largest rectangle. And if you notice on my first card, I use these little bitty pieces. I have chosen some larger widths, same papers, larger widths, just to see what it looks like. So we're going to bring this in, and we're going to cut these down to the same length, which is 5 1/4 inches. Just like so. All right. So how I did the first one, I'm going to bring the card in so you can see it, is I had them kind of together at the bottom and out like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this first one right straight down the middle. And once we get this all together, we'll see if we like the skinny strips or the fat strips better. All right, there's one. This is gorgeous paper. It has the copper foil accents on it. Just make sure you don't go past the edge of your card, because you want this to fit in an envelope. Oh, my comments are... There we go. Yes, Connie, I love that paper too. There we go. All right. So, I was thinking that perhaps we could do little wonkiness here, but I think that might be overkill. So we're just going to go with this one, but we're going to do it different. We're going to grab some dimensionals here, maybe if I can find them, and we're going to pop it up on dimensionals. Just make sure that there is a right side and a wrong side to these when you cut them with dies. So make sure that you get your dimensionals on the wrong side. Oh, my fingers are sticky from Tombow. Alrighty. Something like that. Alright. So we're going to set that aside. Our base is basically done. We have some stamping to do. So I'm going to bring in the Stamparatus. And we are going to stamp our ornaments. And I need my stamp set. There we go. And I have used both the ornaments. And I've used Pretty Peacock and Night of Navy ink. And I'm stamping them twice because I like them nice and dark. And Pretty Peacock. All right, so far so good. I love it with the berry vanilla. I was trying to match the colors in the DSP, so I thought it would look funny if we used white, and I was very pleased with the vanilla. All right. Let's grab our ornament punch and we will punch these babies out. Holy, got the shakes this morning. I think I need to drink coffee. Okay, I got to take a snip off the bottom of this. It's not fitting in the punch exactly right. And there we have it. Ah! Did you see what I just did? I ruined it. Okay, that's all right. We have more cardstock. We will stamp another one super, super quickly. Sorry about that. All right. Which one did I ruin? The navy one. All right. We'll take this one off and we'll get this one stamped. Chop, chop. Night of Navy. Yeah. Denise, should I send you some chance? Maybe I'll have a drink of this coffee that I have sitting here. And what was your entertainment on Saturday morning? Watching me screw up. Oh, well, we all do it. I just choose to do it in front of everybody. All right, let's see if I can do it right this time. Success. Okay. Now we need to stamp a greeting. And I need the itty bitty greetings. And we will see I am going to choose Believe. It's a nice tiny little greeting, and I don't think I've ever used it. So today's the day. Back to the Pretty Peacock ink for this greeting. And because I pre-cut these, I have extras in case I mess up. Perfect. Okay, I'm going to put this one back in the case because it's so little. I'm scared I'll lose it. And my mat is, these are all the Stitch So Sweetly dies. My mat is the Pretty Peacock as well. Okay, we're good. Now, let's get some Tombow on this, and we will layer this together like so. And we'll bring this back in, and we're going to put some dimensionals on the back of these little guys. I think 2 will do it. And this time we're going to put it on the back of the greeting as well. And I'll just take off those paper backings. And I want to set my greeting first, and I'll tell you why, because I need to have enough room for my ornaments. So I'm going to place one down, and then this one will overlap a little bit. Just like so. Okay, now I used some of this blue baker's twine, and this is, you can color white baker's twine super easy with either the ink pads and let it dry, or with your Stampin' blends. This actually is in the new catalog. It's part of the Suit and Tie die bundle. Can't remember their names quite yet because it's new product. So I used this because I had it, but you could very easily grab a Stampin' blend and color your white baker's twine. And I'm just making 2 little bows, or trying to make 2 little bows to go on the top of our ornaments. Okay, now if I had a mini glue dot somewhere, I should have one. Okay, I'm just going to take a glue dot and I'm going to roll it because I don't want it to show so bad on the back of my bow. So I find if I roll them together, I have all the stickiness, but less surface area. Just like so. All right, Now for the finishing touch, I have these beautiful, beautiful iridescent pearls, if I can get into them. And these have, depending on how you look at them, there's different shades of blues and purples and greens and golds. So I'm just going to grab a few of these and pop up. Oh, that one has no glue on it. I left the glue portion on my paper. Let's try this again. Maybe I should be using my take your pick tool. It would make life easier. There we go. Let's try this one. It's kind of a goldy color. And there we go. Those are the iridescent pearls. All right, so there's the card we just made. And there is the one I made previously. Which do you prefer? Do you like the skinny strips or the fat strips? And then we have our two, oops, upside down, our two gift wallets. And then we have our locking gatefolds. So I've decided that this format is what I'm going to do every Saturday morning for my Facebook Live. It's going to be the projects, Pinterest projects that inspired me. So I will share with you things that caught my eye on Saturdays, and hopefully they inspire you too. I thank you so very, very much for joining me. I remind you that if you want anything off the year-end clearance, to please get me your orders prior to December the 7th at 6 p.m. And if you do not have a demonstrator, I would be very pleased to order those for you. If you do have a demonstrator, please order them through your own demonstrator. And that's it for me today, ladies. Thank you so very, very much for joining me, and I will see you Tuesday night at 7. Bye-bye for now.